I've got Nicole with me today that has been working on this chair for a very long time. She's a physiotherapist with great knowledge about the function of the pelvic and how to treat pelvic dysfunctions using the pelvic power. Now we've spoken about erectile dysfunction. We have spoken about incontinence. We understand that it's an absolutely non-invasive. That then brings me to people who don't want to go to a restaurant because they're afraid that they may let a little bit of air out. They may have a little bit of fluctuance. Tell me about that and your experience treating people with that.
So it's one of those things, again, people don't like talking about fecal incontinence. They don't like talking about, letting a bit of gas escape when they're at a thing, but, if they're at a restaurant or something. But it's really, really common. I think if people understood how many times people come into clinic and tell me, actually mostly through questionnaires, because sometimes people don't feel comfortable on that first visit telling me. But when I'm reading the questionnaire, stories, people will say to me that they won't go to a particular beach because they're worried that there won't be a toilet. Or maybe they've had an experience where they've been in a car and they haven't been able to pull over in time and they've had to change their underwear, or they haven't had a spare pair of clothes. These are stories of real people who are getting this, and it's completely destroying their lives. They're deciding, actually, I don't want to go out for dinner with my friends just in case this happens. Or they're thinking, actually, you know what, I'm just going to exercise less. Now, this is really important because actually this can be completely life-changing. If we think about, let's say, Joe Bloggs or Mrs. Bloggs, and she has an experience where she lets out gas in an environment where there's lots of people around and she gets embarrassed, that could be the difference between her then going out less, gaining weight because she's depressed, because she feels sad that she's not seeing her friends. She then decides, I'm not going to exercise because what if I lose control? What if I sneeze or I cough and something happens, down below? And actually, Mrs. Bloggs becomes this person who is more sedentary, has more risk of heart disease, cancer, stroke. Whereas actually, if we'd just seen them in this preventative phase and said, actually, it's okay to talk about this stuff. We know weakness of the pelvic floor can be affected by, aging. That can be one of the reasons. It could be that there was trauma in childbirth, and hormones. So people, when they're going through the menopause, we see that as well. If they realised, actually, if they strengthen that pelvic floor, if they affect the muscles around the anus, sorry to talk about it sort of in medical terms, but if they can affect those muscles, actually, there's hope for them. A lot of these people are at home thinking, it's not going to work. I'm just going to have to deal with these symptoms. I'm just, I'm getting older. The classic one, I'm just getting older. You don't have to put up with this. We can get stronger and improve things.